Hey guys, Scarlet Darkwood here. Hope everyone's had a good week. I want to show you a spell that I did for a friend of mine who had an unruly neighbor. And just a little bit of backstory. This neighbor did not live in her condo unit. He was just merely staying with a lady in one of the units to try to help care for her, but in the process he was angry when somebody took his parking space, or what he thought was a parking space. And in the condo complex where my friend lives, they don't have assigned parking, and so the man apparently doesn't care, didn't know that. And so when my friend and her husband parked in that space right near their unit, because there was nothing else left when they came in, he proceeded to get angry. He got angry at my friend, cussed at her, he accosted her spouse, and threatened to beat him up, threatened to damage his vehicle. Needless to say, my friend had to get the homeowners association or the management company involved to try to get this settled. And in the meantime, she and her spouse just decided to use precaution. So she came to me and said, "Hey, Scarlet, can you help me? Can you maybe do a spell to just try to get rid of him, or to just calm him down in some way?" And so I did some research and I came up with an forced exile spell. And what that means is it is a ritual or spell that forces somebody to move, either through circumstances, their own will, or whatever. The problem with a forced exile spell is it doesn't always work, because that's a very difficult thing to remove someone from a home, whether they own the unit or not, obviously. Now, sometimes that spell is said to have worked within hours, other times within, days. At any rate, there are times you may have to layer the spells, maybe do different ones to try to compound it, but it is very difficult to move somebody. I tried doing a couple for her and he is still there, but here's the thing, it's a circumstance where the current homeowner, due to health issues, may not be around for very long. So if you can't speed up the process, sometimes even with the use of spells, prayer, ritual, magic, whatever you want to call it, you may just have to wait it out. You can try to speed it up, but you may have to just use some common sense in this, and you just unfortunately may have to wait. And I've done some videos on how long does it take for a spell to work, and sometimes it can take a while. Hopefully in this instance it will resolve itself and the lady will, she's going to die anyway, but maybe she'll pass on and he'll be forced out anyway. But it just sounds kind of cruel, but that's just kind of the circumstances that this has led to. The lady didn't take care of herself, and so she's suffering the consequences of ill health. But anyway, on to the ritual. So I had to think of what I wanted to do, and I got in one of my grimoires and I found a forced exile spell. And I decided to use magnets. And let me take that apart. As you can see here, I have two magnets, and they very strong. But I don't want them to attract each other, I want them to repel each other. So in this, there's a little dot on each side of the magnet, and if I put those two dots together, they push each other away. So I want to repel or push away someone. So what I did was I got a jar, small jar like you see here, and I put some tape on the bottom, and I put some tape on the top, and I made sure that I placed the magnet like so, as you can see, and I did it on the bottom of the jar as well, so that when I put these two together, there is a repulsive force. And I can kind of feel it from the jar because these magnets are so strong. I also got some Morrigan salt, some protection salt, from the Witch's box, which unfortunately that box is ending at the end of April of 2023. So I'm going to miss that box, but Elena, the owner, is going to be doing some other things. But anyway, I got some of the protection salt, and I just I wanted to neutralize things. So I took some of it and I put it around the jar like this. You can kind of see what I've done with it. And I thought that would help neutralize and protect. And the Morrigan is great because they're good for battle, and they're a fighting deity, whether you want to look at them as one person or a group. They fight, they do battle, and I thought this would be very appropriate in all kinds of ways. So I have my salt, as you can see. I have my magnets, and I just closed the jar. I just kind of screwed it on top. And I lit a candle. I don't have that here, but I lit a candle and I did a spell with it. I used one for my grimoire. I also created my own, and I involved Archangel Michael, since he's a protector and since he does battle too. He slew the dragon, or slayed the dragon. So anyway, I made up my own invocation. I'm not going to share it here, but I did this invocation so that he would cut loose the anger, that he would slay the dragon, so to speak, and that he would also offer protection to my friend and her spouse, and that he could help put an end as well. So I did a multi spell with this, but this is something that you might want to try, and you may want to see if it works for you. But I like the idea of magnets because they have attraction properties if you're wanting to attract someone. They also have repulsion properties if you put the same ends together and they repel each other. So it's just a good type of repulsion ritual that you can do. And adding your salt and herbs can help. So I hope you all found this helpful. And if you try it, let me know how it works for you. And tell me how you've used magnets in other of your rituals. I would love to hear about it. And I will talk to you next time. Hope everyone has a great rest of the week.